Welcome back to you, Cherry Pie. This is your non-professional health checkup, making sure that you are not a soy sipper today. Baby dolls and baby cakes, look at you over there trying to make your way in the world of crypto. Be careful. There are rugs and scams everywhere, and I do mean everywhere. And unfortunately, we have attracted a lot of third world country scammers. Now, some people get offended at that. I don't care. I'm going to tell you right now, third world country scammers will rug you for 30 to 40 bucks. Okay? You got to laugh. This was unspeakable in 2021. You know, the scammers, they'd let something get to like $4.5 million, then they would rug it. Now, nah. This trashy meme coin a while ago, it rugged everyone for $3,500. It's been going on for quite a while. Bang, everyone lost their money. How do you prepare against ruggers and snakes? Well, of course, the first thing is don't go buy. But I don't like that because you are constantly processing new information, new stories, new coins, new founders, new leaders. And I'm here to tell you, 99.9% of the time, whatever idea you're thinking is great, it's not actually great. It's been done before. The ruggers and the snakes know that when other coins are mooning, they can take advantage of you. Why? Because when people see others making money, we get greedy. We want to participate making money too. So we let a few things slide. You go, oh, I like pink and purple logos. What do you have? A brown logo? All right, I'll buy it anyway. You see that? Never buy anything with a brown logo. Don't you dare. Half of these coins don't even have logos. Actually, more than half, more like 99%. They don't even care, friends. That's why you got to be careful out there. Most of the ideas you think are revolutionary, they're not. I've made so many videos that you like, subscribe, belly button, and all to. You shock the algorithm, family friendly show. I've told you. The real innovation is the network, the group of people. That's the innovation. It's not the code. Most of the time, it's not the code. Yes, there are fantastic pieces of code in crypto, but most of the time, it's the people gathering around the code. Why? Because we can just copy paste it. It's open source. That's why. The market's smart. You can't just copy paste code and get all this value. You can't even make code by itself and have all the value. Be careful as well. By the nature of liquidity, only 3% of a coin's circulating market cap can be exited. It's actually 1.5%, but you can say 3 to 5% because there are buyers that come on the way down, and you still got to be careful. Do you see how small the door is? All it takes is just one bad actor to swipe it all. Accumulate your favorite core coins instead. There will be a time where we have to shift from the core coins lottery. So what do I always say? Say like 90% core, right? 90% core and 10% lottery. You know, it's a good starting point. Now, eventually, we might have to get a bit naughty. We might have to party with a lot of pizza. We might have to shift it from 90% core to like 70% core, 30% lottery, if we are confident of the narratives appearing. Are they there yet? No. Don't you dare try to play in that world. You're probably going to get wrecked. When it appears, we'll know it. You know what else we're going to know, friends? We're going to know how to crank it. Get long. You heard me. Get long. I want to ask you this question though. How high do you think Bitcoin has to go before the bears capitulate? All the bears. It's a great question to think about because sometimes it goes there, but everybody changes their target when we get there because they're so shocked that it happens. You'll find many people won't act at that zone that it gets to. Right now, we have uncertainty. We have stocks and macro. You know, I get a message all the time. People say to me, well, macro is good, right? I go, yeah, but everyone knows when they pivot, it's bad. Everybody. I've been reporting on this. There's no edge in it knowing anymore. Every single freaking person now shows me a chart. People with no avatars. Just people can barely speak sentences telling me, did you know that when the Fed pivots, it's really bearish? I'm like, that's very interesting because I wonder if we're going to get through that and we're going to get scammed later on. there was a moment in time in history, I've shown it on the charts, where they actually cut rates a bit and then the stock market didn't crash. That was the soft landing. So they did hiking and they cut a tiny bit, but nothing happened. The economy just kept moving on. This was in the early 90s. It's actually fascinating. This is the fluke, though. Most of the time, the hike damage was too great. The Fed pivot. We're waiting for the Fed pivot. The crowd knows it's bearish. But what about Bitcoin? I wonder if Bitcoin $40,000 is enough. Is it? I feel like the people have capitulated. They capitulated right as $31,000 for Bitcoin broke. But there's no pain yet. It's just people go, you know what, I'm pretty wrong here. That's what it was. Where do we actually make them regret being born a smelly, furry bear who poops in the woods? Anything above 40,000. Can I also tell you this? If altcoins run hard, these people will regret being born. That's how much pain they're going to feel in their little ovaries. Because they can deal with Bitcoin. They go, yeah, I missed out on like a 20%. Who cares? Bitcoin doesn't do 10x rallies anymore. So the real pain are the large cap altcoins swooping up, or a $50,000 Bitcoin. I like this, Peppy. Get long, get strong. That's how you roll. Mr. Latin Crypto Music also said in 2017, it went 29% from the all-time high. So yes, that was the big plus token Ponzi. So in this case, it would be 48K. Yes, see, we are closer to the Bitcoin halving. So every single time we had a Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin, by that time, had retraced 50% of the entire move from the bull market crash. That would put us around between $42,000 to $48,000. It would be fantastic if that happens once again. We would glorify it. Also want to remind you, remember, this was a picture that got popular earlier in the month, friends. This is SBF with his woolly mesh, steel mesh hair, and he is enjoying himself to a picture of me because we are trying to investigate on his wall. It's over. It's so over. We're back. We're so back. Where do you think we are now? Are we euphoric? I think we got a lot way to go before we were euphoric. There's a lot of things that got to happen. I'm looking at everybody's pants. I mean, SBF's got no pants, but he's the only one. I'm looking around me. Everyone's wearing pants, friends. And there's stuff in their pockets. So if you're still on the sidelines with US dollars, you're actually missing the best part of crypto. This is the best part of crypto. No one actually talks about this but me. It's when we just go up when there's 100 reasons to go down. This is the most fantastic part of crypto. It doesn't happen all the time anymore like it used to, but it's beautiful. It's part of the cycles. It's those few days in the year, maybe once or twice per month, where you just move up a bit when you shouldn't, when you know you shouldn't. But it's not. That's tongue-in-cheek. You know that the market's pricing in the future, and the insiders who control the future narrative, they're getting in. That's what we love seeing. It looked really over, and so over, didn't it, at the bottom? But now we're back, so we've got to hold on tight. Interesting to think about how high we're going to go until those bears start to think, maybe I ruined my one shot to make multi-generational wealth. But we all know if we want to make multi-generational wealth, you're going to need a little bit more than Bitcoin and Ethereum, friends. You know what I'm going to give you? I'm going to give you some laser beat. Laser beat cranks. Michael Saylor. This is the chart he doesn't want you to see. The secret chart. Bitcoin dominance. I love this Peppy shooting down UFO FUD, unidentified fudding object. He doesn't want you to see this. Why? Because Bitcoin dominance tells us Ethereum, whether you like it or not, has added so much value. The world wants smart contracts. We want Ponzi's. We want NFTs. We want JPEGs. We want gaming. We want metaverse. We want DeFi. We want friend tech. We want friends. We want leverage trading. That's what people want. There's demand for these things. Now, They're all trash and wastes of time, but they want them. Just like takeaway stores. Yeah. Maybe McDonald's doesn't have the healthiest burger. Guess what? There's demand for it in every single community, isn't there? It is a macro downtrend looking at the Bitcoin dominance, but they don't want you to see that because they would have to admit that Ethereum is gaining on Bitcoin. Very counter to the narrative of their store of value. And guess what? Even if you're anti-Ethereum, good luck to you. I'm just telling you, Ethereum has paved the way for other altcoins. Give them confidence to tell them you can add value. You don't have to be an alien like Vitalik. People want layer 1 chains, man. There's cities. We want them. We do a lot more. We want to take risks. We want to add complexity. Bitcoin doesn't do that, but we don't need it to. But you got to look at it from this perspective, okay? We are adding value besides a layer 0 digital rock. We're adding value, okay? But, what do all the maxis say? The Bitcoin maxis will say it's stupid. They say yield is a sin and you shouldn't go through these because you're a sinner. We're going to excommunicate you from the church. All right. You can tell this to me all day, but I have anecdotal evidence. All of my friends, all of my family, no matter how many times I tell them, market cap matters, not the Bitcoin unit price. They'll say to me, yes. 60 days later, they'll say, man, it's too expensive for this Bitcoin, man. I'm not paying like 50K. What the hell? I'm like, man, Habibi, Albi, do you remember our conversation about market cap? Yeah, I remember understanding it, kinda. I promise you, friends, this goes on. You know what I'm laughing at? It's 2023. I've been having the same convo with my friends since 2019. 4 years. Their default status in the head is, what's market cap? Unit bias. $30,000, $50,000, too much. That's their default. So if for my friends who are absorbing all my information, imagine everybody else out there, how they're thinking. That's why Ethereum's contribution can't be stated enough. Bitcoin's necessary, but it doesn't continue the value growth like altcoins. And it's true. Look, I always joked, this is not even really a joke. Bitcoin doesn't even need to do a Taproot upgrade or Lightning layer or any of these other junk. It doesn't need to do any of that. If Bitcoin wants to pump, you reprice it to divide by 1,000 or even more. That's how you do it. Instead of Bitcoin being like $35,000, make it 35 cents. $35, something like that. You'll get the pump, friends. You'll get people talking about it. But of course, you're going to have to change the quantity of the coins. But that's what you're going to have to do. Now, no one's going to do it, but that just shows you the type of money left out there to participate. Now, you might say, well, there's big ETF money, etc. I go, yeah, baloney. Who cares about them? They're super long-term, small allocations percentage-wise. It's going to be like gold, okay? So this is where our mindset needs to be. This is why mid-curvers never make it. Mid-curvers will go and debate with Michael Saylor and to join him and say, well, pure money. Let's make the cybernetic hornet's nest into Disneyland. Or let's switch things around. But really, they're not actually switching anything around or adding any Disneyland anywhere. What they're doing is they're adding a centralized company who provides an off-ramp to Bitcoin. And they say that's, oh, well, it's part of the community, but we never change the core. Look, we didn't care about that, man. No one cares. You're just doing the same thing Ethereum does, but you're just pretending it's pure. No one cares about that. We care about the Ponzi pumps. We want high growth, high value. We want to add complexity where it makes sense. And you want the communities to be fostered from that growth. Bitcoin doesn't provide that, but everybody wants it. So what are we meant to do? We can't change Bitcoin. They've tried so many times. Everybody in Ethereum and altcoin land were once Bitcoiners. But they just realized, okay, there's nothing for me to do here. Let's go into another path and a better future. Luckily for you and I, friends, we figured this out. That's why we're going to let the cards play out. We're going to let the cookie crumble the way it is. And hopefully we get rewarded for taking on this risk. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button all. Tell mom and dad we're shooting some FUD objects today. Catch you soon.